Okay, I'm going to do a live video. Invite people. Do a live video uh, toward a subject that I've seen come up at the group twice now in the last approximately 8 to 12 hours, specifically toward the threading that is on the inside of an ocular. Ocular meaning the end of a scope or an optic where light comes in and it is your eye looking through the eyepiece that you observe the world through. And persons have been confused about what that threading is used for, what its purpose might be as it goes to benefit. And so I've decided to grab a couple of pieces of hardware to cover that for you guys as opposed to me typing it out. I think this will be more efficient. So the first that I covered last night was in relation to discussing a red dot, and this is a red dot site. As you can see there, you're able to see through the optic, and there's my lips and my teeth that are magnified. All right. Now on the end of this optic is a diffuser. Some people call it a kill flash. That's a slang term or a street term that's common in industry, but it's actually the technical term for it is a diffuser. I'm going to unthread it. All right, and now this would be the view if you were a turkey. I use this on my turkey gun. If you were a turkey or some other animal and I were hidden in the woods, this is what you would see. You see all that red, that amber? That is what you would see. And if the sun were to reflect off of the red dot against that lens, it would be very obvious to you as an animal, a prey animal, that that's not normal. That's weird. You would be like, hey, what the heck is that? So I'm going to flee and either run, or if you're a coyote or a bear, you're going to come in to investigate. Those species are typically investigative. They're typically intelligent enough to come look at something, whereas a turkey and other animals, deer, rabbit, etc., they will flee, and this will get you no kill. All right. So the way that works is this diffuser. It is a honeycomb pattern, if you can see there, and you can see my shirt through the honeycomb pattern. And when light comes through straight, it allows your eye to see straight through, and there is no disturbance in the ability to see through this and to actually take note of what's what's downrange, what you're focused on. But when light hits the diffuser at any angle other than directly straight, then this occurs. Let me see if I can duplicate that on screen. There you go. You see that shimmering? See that there? So what that does is it breaks any reflection from the ocular, and in the ocular you have a lens that's on the opposite end. It breaks any reflection from light that happens to be coming off of that lens through the ocular, meaning toward you. It disturbs that and breaks it up. And this can be painted in any color, not just black. You can have this repainted or hydro dipped and any kind of camouflage or whatever that pleases you, that works to your particular application, and it will work. So it just threads in. There is some threading. See if I can get that on screen. There we go. Yeah, there's threading on the inside. I didn't think to grab my flashlight, but there's threading on the inside that allows this to connect. Let's see if I can get this done with one hand. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to balance it on here and try to make this work. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to thread it on. Now this is difficult. Stand by. All right, so do like this. There we go, like that, and threads on, okay? Simple. All right, next, we're gonna move on to scopes. Now, that was a red dot, is non-magnifying, it's an optic. A scope is a device that magnifies, it has mirrors in it, and allows you to make the world larger by your view through the eyepiece than what real world is. And so the ocular magnifies light and increases the amount of the amount of space that you're seeing downrange. And this becomes important toward an item called a sunshade. Now, sunshade is used commonly by persons that are looking at a target, and where if looking at the target and the sun is generally, or always, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And presently, as I sit in the window, the sun is approximately, let's see if I can show that, it's approximately over there. And time right now is probably about 3 o'clock, maybe 3:30. By the time it gets to sunset, it'll be in that direction, opposite of me. So if I were at the range right now and I were oriented in a east to west direction, so meaning that my target were at the western end of the earth, and I was fixed in an eastern direction, then the possibility for the sun having rays, I'm going to try to imitate this in the screen here. If the sun is up here, let's see if I can get a lamp. No, that won't work. If the sun is up here and light rays are coming down, and I'm over here looking at a target that direction, if the sun rays are coming down, with me having no sunshade, my target will be obscured by the sun. So a sunshade does nothing more than reduces the amount of light at a lateral direction from the side, so that my ocular can better pick up light specific to the target. Now, the target itself is not generating light, it is reflecting light. So by the fact that it's reflecting light allows me to see it. And if there's too much light to be reflected, then I cannot see it. My eye ends up getting overpowered. So that's where the sunshade comes in. And I'm going to show you that. I've taken out I've got a rifle here that's a trainer that I use as a analog, and I use it for extreme long distance shooting. And it's mounted, I'm not going to take it off the gun, but it's mounted to the gun. I've got the gun in the case, so I'm going to leave both in there. But it has a sunshade attached to it at the moment because that's how I was using it last. So I'm going to show you how that works. I'm going to turn the screen over, and let's see if we can make that work. There we go. All right. Okay, so as you see here, this is the eyepiece. This is the eyepiece. Light travels through the eyepiece. You're looking through here. Light is traveling, is magnified in this area among the erector. Is magnified among the erector, and then comes into the ocular, and this is where you adjust for parallax. And then this here, this assembly, is the sunshade. Okay, so sunshade, it's got the end cap on. Oh, now it's stuck. Stand by. There we go. All right. So the sunshade is nothing more than a tube. That's it. It's just a tube. It's hollow. You can see right through it. It's got threading that's on the end, and that threading goes into the threading that's here on the ocular. All right. So without that sunshade, all of that light going through would overpower the optic, or I'm sorry, the scope. Putting the sunshade on while I'm oriented toward the target allows me to reduce the amount of reflectivity. Put that there. Allows me to reduce the amount of reflectivity of the target, not of the sun, but of the target. And then from there, I can see what I need to take a shot. Oh. Okay. All right. So that's how these work out. This is a word. That's how these work out. For example, my shirt just now. In fact, let me take this off and see if I can duplicate it. My shirt right now, I happen to be wearing a pink shirt, which is high reflectivity of sunlight. Now I'm going to put the sunshade over the camera, the lens of the camera, and you tell me what you see. There we go. All right. So my reflectivity is not reduced. It's not reduced because the shirt is a constant. The reflectivity of the shirt is a constant. All that the sunshade does is block the extraneous sun that's coming in. So I remain in position with the gun focused on the target. I've got my eye looking at the target. But by having the sunshade, it blocks out all that extra reflectivity, all that extra sun that just boosts the amount of reflectivity of the target. So that way I can have a better possibility to look at the target, to take the shot that I need and see what I need to see to make my hits. Yikes. I hope that folks understand that. If you have any questions, please feel free to make your comments in the thread. And that's about it. Pope out.